If Excel keeps eating the first zeros in your data, you're not alone. It happens the moment Excel guesses that something is a number, and it quietly rewrites it. That's how an ID like 000472 becomes 472. A zip code like 02110 becomes 2110, and an SKU like 000-AX9 turns into a mess. The frustrating part is that you might not notice until you export, upload, or merge, and then everything stops matching. The fix is not one single button. It's choosing the right import method and the right data type before Excel converts anything. In this walkthrough, you'll get a simple mental model. You'll also get multiple reliable workflows, so you can pick what fits your situation. Some options are best for one-time imports. Others are best when you repeat the same CSV every week, and we'll cover recovery too, in case the zeros are already gone. Next step. First, it helps to separate two ideas: how a value looks and what it is. Excel stores either a number or text. If Excel stores a true number, leading zeros do not exist, because numbers don't have front padding. Formatting can display extra zeros, but it doesn't change the underlying value. Text is different. Text keeps every character exactly, including zeros, spaces, and hyphens. CSV files don't carry data types. They're just lines of characters with separators. So when you open a CSV directly, Excel has to guess. It looks at a column and decides, this seems numeric, and then it converts. That guess is the whole problem. Your goal is simple. Force Excel to treat specific columns as text at the moment of import. Once you do that, the zeros stay, matching stays, and exports stay clean. Next step. Let's get practical about which fields should be text. An ID is usually an identifier, not a quantity. You don't add IDs together. Zip codes are not numbers either. They can start with 0, and some countries include letters. SKUs often mix digits, letters, and separators, and sometimes the leading zeros are meaningful for sorting or matching. Account numbers, invoice codes, employee IDs, product codes, and barcode-like strings are the same story. If the value is used for matching, searching, joining, or lookups, it should usually be text. If the value is used for math, charts, totals, or averages, then it should be numeric. This one decision, math versus identity, will prevent most import disasters. And it also helps you explain the fix to coworkers without getting stuck in Excel jargon. Next step. The most reliable one-time fix is to import the CSV, not open it. When you open, Excel guesses. When you import, you can control types. Use the workflow that starts from a blank workbook and brings the file in through an import step. During that process, set the problem columns to text. That single choice prevents Excel from converting 000472 into 472. It also prevents scientific notation for long codes, like turning 1234567890123 into 1.23457E+12. If your CSV has multiple columns that must stay exact, mark each of them as text. Then load the data. After that, you can still clean, filter, and build pivots without corrupting the identifiers. This approach is best when you care about correctness more than speed, and when the file structure is consistent enough to map columns once. Next step. If you import the same kind of CSV repeatedly, you want a repeatable method. That's where a saved import setup helps. The idea is to create a connection to the CSV and define the column types one time. Then, when a new file arrives with the same layout, you refresh. Excel reapplies the same rules, including this column is text. This is especially useful for monthly sales exports, inventory feeds, shipping lists, or any system dump where IDs must stay stable. The trade-off is that you need consistent column names and order. If the source system changes the layout, your import rules might need a quick update. But when it's stable, this approach is the closest thing to set it and forget it you can get for leading zeros. Next step. Another dependable approach is to prepare the destination columns before you bring data in. Create a new sheet, format the target columns as text, and then paste. This can work well for small to medium files, especially if you're copying from a CSV opened in a text editor or from a system that lets you copy rows. The key detail is order. Format the destination as text first, then paste. If you paste first and format later, the zeros are already gone. Also be careful with double-clicking the CSV to open it. The conversion can happen before you even copy. For a quick workflow, open the CSV in a plain text viewer, copy the column, and paste into pre-formatted text columns. It's not as scalable as a proper import, but it's fast and surprisingly reliable when you do it in the right order. Next step. Sometimes you need both. Keep leading zeros and also enforce a fixed width. For example, an ID must be exactly 8 digits, or a SKU must be 10 characters. In those cases, you can use a helper column to rebuild the display consistently. The common pattern is to pad with zeros on the left, based on a target length. That gives you a standardized code, even if the source is inconsistent. But here's the important warning. Padding is not the same as preserving. If the original value was truly 000472 and Excel already turned it into 472, padding back to 6 digits gives 000472, which looks right, but you've still lost the ability to know if the original had 6 digits or maybe more context. So use padding as a standardization step, not as a perfect recovery method. It's great when the business rule is fixed length. Next step. Let's talk about zip codes specifically, because they're a common trap. In the US, zip codes can start with 0, and zip plus 4 adds a hyphen. In other countries, postal codes may include letters and spaces. If you store them as numbers, you risk losing leading zeros, removing separators, or breaking international formats. The safest rule is simple. Postal codes should be text. If you need sorting, text still sorts correctly when the codes are consistent length, and for mixed formats, it's the only safe option. If you need validation, validate as text using length checks or pattern rules, not numeric ranges. And if you export to shipping software or CRM systems, text prevents silent changes. Treating zip codes as text is one of those small decisions that prevents hours of downstream cleanup. Next step. SKUs and product codes have their own special failure modes. Excel may strip leading zeros, but it can also auto-convert patterns that look like dates. A code like 03-04 can become a date. A code like 1-2 can become a fraction. And long numeric-looking SKUs can switch into scientific notation. The defense is the same. Import as text. But it's also smart to scan your raw file for risky patterns. If your SKU system uses hyphens, slashes, or short digit groups, assume Excel will try to be helpful. Keep those columns as text from the start. If you must work with them after import, avoid operations that trigger reinterpretation, like certain paste actions. When SKUs are the key for inventory matching, one wrong conversion can make products look missing, even when they're not. Next step. What if the damage is already done and you only have the Excel file? Recovery depends on whether you know the intended length. If you know an ID must be 6 digits, you can rebuild it by padding zeros to the left until it reaches 6. That will restore a consistent key for matching. If you don't know the intended length, recovery is limited. Excel can't tell you how many leading zeros were originally present because they were never stored. In that situation, your best move is to go back to the original CSV or source system and re-import correctly. If that's impossible, check for external references, like a master list, that can remap the IDs. The main takeaway is this. Prevention is perfect. Recovery is approximate, unless you have a rule. That's why import settings matter so much. Next step. A quick way to catch problems early is to run a few sanity checks right after import. Pick a handful of known values that should start with 0 and confirm they still do. Check the length of the code in a few rows, especially the shortest ones. Look for scientific notation, which is a red flag for long identifiers. Also check for accidental date conversions, like codes that suddenly show month names or date formats. If you're going to merge with another table, do a small test lookup before you commit to a full workflow. When lookups fail, it's often because one side is text and the other side is numeric, or because zeros were dropped. These checks take 2 minutes and can save you from sending corrupted data to a downstream system. Next step. Now let's cover exporting, because it's easy to reintroduce the problem. If you export a sheet back to CSV, Excel writes the stored values, not the way they look. So if you used number formatting to show leading zeros, the CSV may still contain the shorter numeric value. That surprises people all the time. If the receiving system expects 8 characters and you send 6, it can reject the file or mismatch records. The safest approach is to store identifiers as text in the sheet, not as numbers with a custom format. If you must generate a fixed-width code, generate it in a text column and export that column. Before sending, open the exported CSV in a plain text viewer and confirm the zeros are truly present. That one verification step prevents a lot of painful back and forth. Next step. If you work with other people, the best fix is a simple team rule. Identifiers come in as text, and they stay text. Put it in your template. Use a standard import workflow. And if you share files, avoid telling someone to just open the CSV. That instruction is what triggers the guessing step. Instead, share a workbook that already has the import connection and the column types defined, or share a short checklist. Import, set types, verify, then work. This is also where naming helps. Label columns clearly as ID, SKU, zip, account number, so nobody thinks they're quantities. The goal is to make the correct behavior the default, so you don't rely on memory. Once you do that, weeding zeros stop being a recurring fire drill and become a solved problem. Next step. To wrap this up, remember the core idea. CSV doesn't tell Excel what a column is, so Excel guesses, and the guess can destroy identifiers. The best fix is to import with control and set the right columns to text before anything converts. Use a repeatable import when the file comes in regularly. Use pre-formatted text columns for quick one-offs. And if zeros are already gone, recovery only works cleanly when you have a fixed length rule or the original source file. If you want one action step, pick one of your real CSVs and build a safe import that keeps IDs and zip codes as text. If you found this useful, subscribe for more practical Excel workflows that prevent data errors, and comment with a quick choice. Do you lose leading zeros more often in A, zip codes, or B, product SKUs? Subscribe to keep optimizing your workflow and get back more of your time.